work you out, get you right with your physical. Always just another interlude. Asking all the questions, girl, you know I don't do interviews. It's pitiful that when I'm with them other bitches, I pretend it's you. Oh, you work at Kohl's, you in dental school.
What's up with y'all?
What's good, family? You know what I'm saying? Interlude back again for another episode. This time, we got a few segments for y'all. Gonna break down a couple things we saw on Twitter, a couple conversations we came up with ourselves, and just, talking music like we always do.
Yes, sir.
So, go ahead. What you want to add on? What you want to start with?
No, I'm just saying this first topic, since we was talking about it before the shoot, artists who would have impacted the culture. Basically, what artists from the past who's no longer alive with today have a positive relevance in music.
Define positive relevance for the people.
Positive relevance as far as like life. Meaning like positive things. Money wise, talking about money, owning different things, how to be a better person, standing up for what you believe in, type shit like that. That type of positive.
You're talking about it.
No, I'm not talking about Nipsey. No, I'm not talking about Nipsey.
I'm
fucking not, bro.
You literally saying making money.
No.
Helping niggas learn how to do ABC.
No, niggas. All right. I'm gonna say this and start it off. One nigga that I'm not talking about Nipsey. That was a person. I feel like if he didn't have the fucking scandals and shit like that, but Michael Jackson, I personally feel like that nigga had, for him, his personality, he loved human beings. Like, he had the love for everybody. Y'all niggas don't, not on that sense, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Black ain't shit, first and foremost. I'm listening.
Bro, what the fuck, bro?
I'm listening.
Michael. Michael was a great person. Look, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, y'all remember that scene at the end of Death of a Funeral when Chris Rock just kept trying to get a fucking eulogy? My father. That's what he just did. Okay, so back to Michael.
Michael just had that, He fucking. I don't even want to say that.
So you saying, so what you're saying is outside of the scandals and the controversy, you think that if Mike was alive today, because that's the conversation, if these artists were alive today, would they have the same impact? Would they have just an impact in general?
I think they have a great impact on music. Like,
a great impact on music right now. They were alive.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's tough. I mean, you can say Mike, and I could get it, but at the same time,
he was alive, and I know.
But music is just, it's so different. I don't know what his impact on music would be, because it would be nothing like his. It would be nothing like his music. So as far as like an artist who would have influence on today's music, as big of a musical influence as Mike is in general, I don't think he would have a individual impact on music today. But I mean, that's still your pick. That's just my personal stance on Mike.
Do you have a pick?
I would say if anybody, Aaliyah.
Why?
Because I think Aaliyah would have had the ability to. I think she would have had the ability to adapt, because she wasn't, like, she was coming from. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. Like,
you don't think the
you don't
sound?
think so?
You don't think the sound of Aaliyah?
I think the sound. I think the sound.
It would have.
Y'all think the sound's just get?
No, it would have phased out.
That phased out a while ago.
It would have phased out. Yes, definitely.
That phased out a while.
It would have phased out.
You talking about somebody?
Wait a minute.
You talking about somebody who adapted? We talking about Beyonce from that time that's still here. Name another person from that time that made that type of music.
I'm saying I think she might have been able to adapt. We don't know.
Big like that? Hell no.
What? I'm not talking about her being big. We talking about they got to be big, or do they just have an impact?
Name somebody from that time that still has an impact besides Beyonce.
What was that time?
What time we talking about? Like beginning of the century?
2002, 2003.
Yeah. Cause shit.
Only other person probably would be Jay.
Who?
Jay.
I'm talking about
Just that genre more so.
Shanti. No.
Yeah.
Nah, not the same. Nah, not musically.
All of them. No.
Nah.
That's just me though.
I mean, nah.
Shit.
What? So you don't think she would have been? I mean, we talking if they were alive today.
Then again, I have a bias against her altogether. So.
What's your bias?
I just felt it.
Yeah, you felt it.
Yes.
You felt it.
So what's your
It's
bias?
me.
What's your
I didn't
bias?
fuck with her when she was alive. So
I mean, what's your reasoning?
I just didn't. I didn't think she was.
Oh,
great.
you just weren't a fan?
You fuck with Sierra?
Didn't think it was that great.
Don't do that. Don't do this.
Love Sierra.
Don't do this. Don't Jesse. Don't do it.
Love Sierra.
Jesse. Don't do it.
Did. Yeah.
Jesse. Don't do it.
What?
So why do you don't fuck with Aaliyah?
I didn't. I just didn't. Sorry.
What's the correlation?
He's trying to say that Sierra is a knockoff of Leah, apparently.
That's just completely. Is that what you're saying?
What?
Sierra's a
That's
knockoff
exactly
of
what
Leah?
he's saying. That's what
I'm
he's
not
implying.
saying she's a
implying.
knockoff. No. I feel she falls into that category of what Aaliyah did.
No.
What would you say?
Sierra and Aaliyah?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
They're the same lane. I said
Yeah, definitely in the same lane.
same lane.
That's why it doesn't correlate to me why he didn't like
Some people just don't like people, bro.
But you like your
Sierra had the
Yeah.
production. I fuck with it.
you like your anti-person. Like
What's the name?
Nah,
Jazzy
I just
Faye?
like people
Jazzy
just
Faye
have
was
people.
dope.
Wait, what's that?
I said Jazzy Faye was dope. He made her beats.
Jazzy Faye was.
And she had Missy Elliott too, so she had a little bit of what made Aaliyah dope.
Well, Sierra didn't really adapt well either, though.
Exactly.
but you like her.
Yeah.
Okay. So I personally think Leah, but I mean, Black feels how he feels.
My second person, because I had chose 3. Nah, but I had to do that because we was discussing this person before the camera started rolling.
Oh yeah, please get to it.
I said Tupac as a positive impact on the culture of fucking hip hop. Hell yeah.
You didn't say culture. You didn't say that. What? You said musically.
I said artists.
You
who
said
impact-
musically.
The thing is, artists who impacted
Why you lying?
the culture. Artists who impacted the culture.
But that's not what you said.
That's not what you said in the beginning.
So
Culture is-
specific got to be the culture of hip hop.
Are we talking about culture or are we talking about them musically? Those are two different things.
Because I definitely agree with what you
I agree
said.
with the culture for sure.
Everything you just said, yeah, I agree.
But you said musically earlier. You said it has a positive relevance in music.
Boy.
Does that not fall under? Does that? So
So
him
do you
being-
not?
listen,
do you,
listen,
do you
listen.
not think it's two different? Do you not think it's two different situations? Answer that. Yes or no? Is it two different situations? So you really think the culture and music is that intertwined that you can't separate them?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, so we're talking about that Tupac would impacted the culture, correct?
Yeah,
Like,
your
everybody
statement.
agree with that.
Your statement that Tupac would have a positive impact on the culture of hip hop.
But y'all
Yes.
don't, but not thinking in the sense of music. Why not?
No,
Why
because Tupac was more like he was just as equally a cultural icon as he was a musical icon at the time. Damn near more of a cultural icon because of what he did outside of music. So culturally for hip hop, he would have a hell of an impact. But musically, like we're talking about like sonically,
Listen,
who's looking at Tupac as like an inspiration, or if Tupac would
lot
have
of
adapted,
motherfuckers.
I don't think so.
A lot of motherfuckers, because you can't the whole vision of Tupac wouldn't even abstain its longevity if this nigga didn't make good music, great music.
You're stretching.
What
You're
the
reaching.
fuck?
You're
No,
stretching.
it's not.
You're stretching.
If all the albums that he would release was fucking just ass, and he died with the controversy outside of his music,
Because
We're not
Pac was
saying
so
that
much
music's bad.
right. Pac was so much bigger than his music. The shit he did outside of music is what made people
So-
really, really like put him on this pedestal. It's not his music is not the reason Pac is Pac. I'm gonna tell you that right now. His music is not the reason that like Pac is who he is. It's what he did for culture. It's his his story. It's
But a
like
lot of
the
niggas-
movies he in. It's the fact that he was a poet. To me, he was a better poet than he was ever a rapper. To me personally, that is what I feel.
His poetry is all his lyrics.
Nah, no, I'm saying like as poetry, like separate from music, separate from rap. Poetry, he has a way with words that don't always translate well into rap per se. And I'm not saying he wasn't a good rapper.
Me Against the World was.
But even Wale like is hella different though.
But
like
how?
Wale infuses the poetry within his rap. Don't say you don't.
I'm not saying he don't, but it's like
It's not the same thing either.
It is. Because and then for you to say that he didn't, the impact for folks to be like influences that they looked up to was Tupac. You a big Kendrick fan. His biggest influence was Tupac.
And he sounds nothing like Tupac.
It doesn't matter that he doesn't sound like it. It's like that he actually
So music, but Kendrick's
and West Coast sound from then to now.
But since you're gonna go there, now I gotta get real specific with you. Kendrick, mentality wise, is inspired by Tupac. Musically, the inspirations are not there. But mentality, the way he looks at life, that's Pac. That's where the inspiration comes at. Not musically. So as far as the culture of hip hop, like when you think of culture, yes, music involved, but so is fucking sports and so is fashion and so many other fucking things. Acting, like all these music artists that want to get into film and shit, like that's Pac's influence for sure. But musically, you can't make the same argument. And if we making a conversation about music, that's where my stance is.
Most of these rappers these days have never even been alive in the same world as Tupac. Like they don't. It doesn't mean nothing.
So to feel it, like to have like
they don't feel it. No.
Yeah, the niggas that did feel it, they either coming out of their prime or just like.
I mean, yeah. I mean, how many really like?
We were all children.
Folks we're listening to. I'm talking about folks like the Wale's, the fucking Kendrick, J. Cole's,
You're saying they was inspired by him musically?
I mean, we know Pac. I mean, not Pac. We know Cole said he was.
I mean,
It's taste.
I mean,
It's the
like
taste for Cole.
I get what you're saying. I just don't 100% agree, depending on the scope that we're looking at the question.
You and your
But that's two. So you said Mike and you said Pac.
Mhm.
So then, who would your third one be?
Seeing that we had cleared up a discussion, I don't feel like.
So you agree with my stance then?
I'm iffy. I'm taking a little bit of yours and I'm gonna take a little bit.
That's
of
fair.
yours in the future.
That's fair.
Cause I mean I'm gonna still feel how I feel.
I mean, yeah, no, you feel, no, that's fine. Yeah. I'd like.
Cause this third person, the timeliness, tragedy immortalized.
But you're
So
attached to him, though.
That's why I said I'm not.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even want to do that. Will it? I think I'll just go with them two right there, Mike and.
That's fair. I really wanted to say Prince, but it definitely wouldn't be. I don't know, just cause. I mean,
Prince was fucking great.
Prince's artistry was on a different level, but I just feel like even in today's music, I don't think there's anybody close to as talented as he is at all. Like from an instrumentation standpoint, and just the talent of like just song making. Like I don't see it, so I don't know if that impact and that influence would be there. I feel like it's tough because music is so different. So I feel like if they were alive, they would still be respected. Mm-hmm. They would still be legends 9 times out of 10. But I don't know if they would be impacting music in the sense of like their sound either still being relevant or them adapting to the sound of today. That's where I find it hard to really, really answer the question. Is there somebody where, no, you just double checking? I mean, yeah, that's the tough part. Cause even if you think of like a Whitney, it's like, oof. I mean, if Whitney's alive and drops an album, we're listening.
You not listening?
You gotta respect the dead, man. I ain't saying nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing.
I just want to know why you wouldn't listen.
What you about to say? Cause he not even gonna listen to it.
Nah,
What you mean? I will listen to it.
Why wouldn't you listen to it? You weren't a.
I respect the dead.
I don't think he was a Whitney fan.
No, that's not it.
Is the tape that bad? Oh, actually, I know where you're going with this tape. You suck. He sucks. He's horrible.
R.I.P.
He's horrible. But I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't really think artists that, and that's why I said for Mac and Nip, it's kind of hard to put it because they're like, I mean, it hasn't been extremely long, so we haven't even seen those who grew up listening to them, and if that even shows face like in the music industry. So it's kind of hard. I just feel like music changes too much. Like for it to be as simple as saying if they were alive, they would still have this. Well, culture is different. I feel like a lot of them would have an impact on
The culture, yeah.
or even the industry in a way, so to speak.
Music.
Not like the business side of it, but musically it's just tough because these are hella different genres, hella different time periods. It just don't, and it don't always transition well. Like there's a lot of you gotta think. The only time frame that I feel like will be timeless music is the 90s. To me. Like as a time period, you will never not go back to the 90s and feel like this is fire. You will never be in a time period or a time age where you won't feel like playing music from the 90s. But I don't think I can say the same.
I feel like give it say.
You say give it another decade, it's gonna phase out?
I ain't gonna say it's gonna phase out. I'm saying that. So say 2000. That's gonna be a genre where it's gonna be so. We miss it. I miss that type of music.
I don't know, bro. I don't know, brother.
You missed the early 2000s?
While there was some really good music back then.
Beautiful wave of neo soul. Hell yeah.
But
you're not gonna get that today.
But no, I don't.
I mean, you getting it, but it's like
the 90s is a stamp though. It's a time stamp that a lot of people have been inspired by, and I don't think you can say the same for the 2000s.
These young niggas about to be inspired by the 2000s. You got your what?
I don't think it's the same.
These young niggas are about to be
Last decade, I'd say yeah. There was a lot last decade. From 2010 till 2019, yeah. But before that,
Man, I don't. Well, I guess more so, even from a culture perspective too. I think
culture perspective. Hell yeah.
90s for sure, because I think that time, everything about the 90s, I think people try to recreate in a way now. But yes, Sharon.
Bruno and
Does TLC not make the list because only Left Eye died?
You know what? I'm not gonna say
fair.
I'm not gonna.
That's what I'm asking.
I'm not gonna say.
Because I was
no,
surprised that she would. Well, not she. That they weren't on the list, but technically only Left Eye.
Well,
because I'm not even gonna say no because what was crazy. I had watched the evolution of hip hop and TLC was.
I mean,
but
you said Pimp C. Pimp C might be the one, actually, musically.
Yeah.
Musically, Pimp C might be the one. Cause that is, today's music is a mix of, it's 50% the South, that sound, and then I want to say the other 50% is it's not a sound, it's more so I can't find the words like that.
the melodic shit that you was talking about.
Yeah, but is there a word for it? Or is it just the melodic shit? Catchy. Cause I mean, sonically, it's the South basically, and then vocally, it's melodic. It's catchy. It's everything has a bounce, virtually. Pimp C would be the one musically, even and culture too, for real. Honestly. I mean, Pimp C is a big inspiration to Meg, so that's something to note as well. So, Yeah, facts. Damn. Okay. I would have to say I would think TLC would. I would think TLC would count. But yeah, great conversation. Cool.
We're gonna move on to the next topic. We got seen off Twitter. Sent it to the group chat just to see where folks' heads at, and this is something that you really had to sit down and, you know, if you're gonna really do it.
You gotta think about it. Definitely gotta think about it.
So it's the 7 albums to get to know you that define you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go ahead spin your.
You want me go first?
Yeah.
Okay. My 7 are Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick, 2014 Forest Hills Drive by Cole, Forever's a Mighty Long Time by Big Crit, Channel Orange by Frank Ocean, Everything's for Sale, Boogie, Birds by Travis, and KOD by Cole. What?
Alright. You don't want to dive into deeper?
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't know we was gonna say it first and then dive in, but no, I'll dive in for sure. Good Kid, like that was, I don't know, like that was, it wasn't my introduction to Kendrick, but like I was, to know, like to be a fan of Kendrick and to be awaiting that album and then for it to be what it was, especially as technically a major label debut, it's, I don't know, like it's a classic album, but it's relatable too. Like I think I've always been able to relate to Kendrick. Like, no, of course,
Facts.
you know, I didn't grow up in any situation like Compton, but more so like mentally, like some of the demons he dealt with. Like, you know, when you look at the art of peer pressure, like a lot of niggas have been in situations like that. I could relate to it. Like, you know, shit like that. Even like Black Boy Fly, like just all like what he experienced like growing up and what he wanted to do, like, and what he wanted to like get out of his circumstance and to make it out of his circumstance. Like I could relate to that, especially like being in high school, like not wanting to stay like in my city and wanting to see what else was out there and not wanting to get trapped. Like I resonated with that. So that was that's why that made the list. 2014, man, again, a completely relatable album. It was Cole's peak, I would say. So just a lot of things, like not only would it being my favorite artist and it being his peak, but for it to be something so relatable and it was kind of the thing that made everybody like, oh, okay, like Cole is whatever. And I had been a fan of Cole, so just all the things attached to that is why it makes the list for me. But extreme relatable. I mean, I don't think I ever related to a song "More Than Wet Dreams" when that shit first came out. Just understanding like that's really how it should be happening. But I mean, it do. I mean, shit. It was so funny. Like I remember like a girl texted me when that album dropped and asked like, "Is this what really happens?" I was like,
all my homegirls definitely was.
I was like, yeah, basically, like that's what we be thinking. But that's what that album made it. Forever's a Mighty Long Time by Crit. I mean, those are my 3 favorite artists. So definitely, you know, not surprised that they're in the 7 albums to know me. But Forever's a Mighty Long Time was like, it wasn't a return, but I think that's Crit's best project. I just think like the headspace he was in after dealing with like label issues and things like that, and like in his own label. I just like where he was, and I just liked a lot of what the album talked about. It was a double-sided album, so he had an album that was Big Crit and an album that was Justin Scott. So it was like you saw, you know, the 2 parallels, and I feel like everybody, like if you, are, you know, in tune like that, you kind of feel like there might be 2 sides to you, or you got, you know, 2 sides. So, you know, listening and kind of understanding what he went through, I could relate to the idea of like, I feel like there's one part of me and another part of me, and they're 2 completely different people depending on circumstances.
Justin Scott's side was my favorite.
Man, no, I definitely fuck with Justin Scott's side. It's just a lot on it I can relate to. So that's on there. Channel Orange. Channel Orange, I think, was one of the first. Like, I didn't really start getting into like listening to albums for real, until that time frame, like that 2011, 2012 time frame. That's when I first really started like listening to music. Oh, there's an album. Let me listen to the whole thing, kind of deal. And so like Channel Orange is one of the first. I mean, I had heard Nostalgia Ultra, but Channel Orange was one of the first like albums I kind of anticipated listening to when I listened to, etc. So I would say more so time frame and impact at the time in my life for me is the reason it makes it. But I mean, definitely, you know, a great tape nonetheless too. Everything's for Sale by Boogie. That is, of course, the newest. Yeah, that's the newest or the, I guess, youngest album on my list. But no, like that dropped at a time for me where like I had just graduated, was still like figuring out what I was gonna do next, and just kind of like I don't know what it was. Like Boogie just made a lot of shit like so relatable. Just whether it was dealing with certain relationships, whether it was dealing with getting out of a like just a personal situation, like dealing with just all the stuff he was dealing with. Like it ain't the exact same thing, but you can relate or I could relate at least in terms of like mentality, like the approach to certain things, and even just somewhat even finding the confidence within like everything going on. Because I feel like that's what that album kind of exuded. But that's why that made it. Birds, Birds is what like cemented me as a Travis fan. Like I fucked with Rodeo heavy, but it wasn't to the point where like I was revisiting Travis like that. But Birds made me like, all right, like Travis is up there for me. Like I'ma anticipate those releases. I'ma look forward. Like I'ma care about what he's doing from this point forward. That was for me because it took me a while for me to kind of.
Why it take you for Birds though?
I think just cause like when I came across Rodeo, like I knew of Travis but I wasn't attached to him yet. Like I heard Rodeo.
So but let me ask you, when you heard Rodeo, did you go back to days before the Rodeo?
Yeah.
Or did you wait till you heard Birds and then you went back?
No, when I heard Rodeo, I listened to Days Before Rodeo, but I still wasn't like a oh shit, like I need to be on. It was like, oh okay, cool, like Rodeo I fuck with, but it just wasn't like I just wasn't revisiting it. Like it didn't stick yet. I don't know. I think it was just a matter of just what I was listening to and how I was listening to music at the time. Like it wasn't like I disliked Rodeo or nothing. It just didn't stick for me in terms of becoming a fan. Like I could recognize, oh yeah, I heard Rodeo, like that's dope, but I wasn't a Travis fan for real. Then Birds was that, and then KOD. So of course there's another cold tape with that being second favorite artist behind Kendrick, but nonetheless, KOD again was like timely. Like 2018 was this time period where shit. I don't know, like I had to think about what I was gonna say, but but 2018 I was trying to figure a lot out. I was trying to find myself in a sense too, and with KOD dropping, like not only the message but just like I think what Cole touched on, like Once an Addict was like so relatable. Like it wasn't my mom, but it was my pops. But the idea of like the pressure and the burden, like that shit was so relatable. The idea of like brackets, like it ain't. Like I ain't felt it, but like just knowing that story is so common, some shit to relate to, like and just like having a single mom like shit like that, like you just understand the dynamic of like shit. Like and there's a lot of songs like that throughout the album. So that's why that's the last album out of the 7 for me. But all of them, it's either it was a time in my life where they just really resonated with me, or it was a pinnacle in my mind for them as an artist, as a fan of theirs. Okay. And so that's how I comprise my list of 7.
Okay. Mine's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Indeed.
Reasons being at that point in my like when I first heard the album, I was always cognitive of who Lauryn Hill was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it wasn't until myself personally, I got in high school. I want to say my junior year where I actually sat down and just let the album play all the way through. And it was like, damn, like this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like this album, it touched on love, and at that time for their generation, the interludes, the students that were sitting in the classes discussing love and giving their own opinions, and me being in high school, that shit kind of resonated with me because it was like I was in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, and coming from a household of not being able to see conditional love from significant others and stuff like that. It was like, shit, you know what I'm saying? Like there's other kids that's like trying to give their different references on this tape. So for me, that shit was dope. That was kind of like my teachable moment album as far as love and shit. My second album, KOD, J. Cole. Like you said, 2018, around that time that came, 2018 was nuts.
Man.
Relationship, dealing with the things that he talked about, Kevin's heart, infidelity, you know what I'm saying, and how he just made that so real. Friends, Once an Addict, like you said, it was your pops. For me, that was my mom's. You know what I'm saying? So to see that shit, like, and it's like, damn, this nigga cold hitting shit on that right there on the head. Window pane too, like window pane.
Yeah, it was just timely. Like everything about it was just timely. So yeah, I feel that.
I have to go with number 3, back to back. Cole, Forest Hill Drive, 2014.
Legendary time.
Leaving out of college. I'm not college, leaving out of high school, excuse me. Like you said, the Wet Dreams reference. Love Yours. I felt like at that time, like that was just a message that was just like, we so young, but it still was like, God damn.
Yeah, I actually think like 2014 was actually, not only do I think the album has aged well, I mean, I still think it's an album you could definitely go back and play. 2014 was just so, I just feel like everybody, like I feel like that was the one album, like even people that weren't huge Cole fans could still say like, I can relate to a lot of what's being said. I just feel like it was the one time I felt like Cole told his story and made it relatable to everybody.
Universal.
And he didn't necessarily market it toward his niche audience.
It was universally accepted.
And I think the build up to it too. I think the fact that he kind of, for the majority of that year, had kind of been ducked off and then came back with the album and the whole lead up and then the theme behind the album at that. I think all of that, played a role too. But
shit. After Forest Hill drops, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Always was cognitive when the album came out, but when I revisited, I was like literally at a dark place in my life. It was like the inspiration to dig me out of this shit, because it was like, if you know the backstory, the conception of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and like for me, that was my kickstart to everything that inspires me right now to, like, you know what I'm saying, to touch base on. So that album right there was just great to me personally.
Really? And I'm mad.
Nostalgia Ultra, number 5 is Frank. Thank you.
I mean, no, honestly,
I gotta say thank you, bro.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're like about to say about it, but I feel like Nostalgia Ultra is one of them albums that I wouldn't say it's ahead of its time, but I feel like I don't even think we really understood what we was getting from Frank.
It was
at
so
the time.
like, at that time, bro, it showed that this artist is so human, and like the things that he was singing about is the shit that you think about, but it's just like, God damn, like this shit hitting right on the nod, you know.
Is Novocaine his biggest song? Yeah.
Single wise, yeah.
Single wise. Okay.
Bigger Thinking About You?
Yeah.
If nobody knows a Frank Ocean song, they know Novocaine.
Yeah. Think About You is 2, for sure.
Cause a tornado flew. Everybody was hitting that bitch like that. It's up there with Novocaine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 6 is Gravity.
It's a great addition.
Lecrae. I grew up a Lecrae fan. Just being in the household that I was raised in. My mom, she big on Christianity and stuff like that. So I didn't want to listen to a lot of the,
Spatulas.
So for him to give hip hop, Christian hip hop, and then as this music, matured, it was like, all right, let me take off the genre of Christianity that y'all trying to box it in, and I'm gonna just rap. And when Gravity dropped, man, like he touched about like so many things on that album, from dealing with money at the peak of his success, or what he thought was his success, because he reached a higher stratosphere after this album dropped, won a Grammy off of it. Gravity just sat well with me, man. Like he made the track with Crit, Walk With Me, like that song as well. It was a lot of bangers on there, and personal things that I vibe with. And my 7, it's a toss up, man. It's a toss up.
How's the toss up?
Cause I look at them
You gonna take off your classic?
I'm not gonna take off my classic, but it's like, all right. So he doesn't think him and our beloved Black doesn't believe that "Me Against the World" by Tupac is a classic. Me personally, being a huge Tupac fan, musically and on him on the cultural sense, "Me Against the World" was very, like, the shit that he rapped about to me was relatable.
What's the claim to it being a classic, though?
You know, do this on my side. The claim to it being just the songs, like, if it resonated with you, it resonated with you. If you was
I can have an album that resonates with me personally. That doesn't make it a classic,
it was
though.
consistent resonation, and it was just like Pac really thought that everybody was against him, bro.
So what makes it a classic is that the songs are relatable to you, that you're aware of.
It was a great answer to how everything that he felt at that time in his life.
So sonically, it was,
If that's my 7.
I mean,
Sonically,
the 7 is fine. I get that. I just wanted the people to know that, like you said, it was a classic, but I didn't really know what your case for it being a classic was. So I just was.
It is a classic.
I mean, you are entitled to your opinion for sure. Just as long as you know it is your
That's a classic
opinion.
The other toss up was also Good Kid, Mad City, but I didn't just want to pick the same. But Good Kid, Mad City definitely was a.
I mean, nigga, we
growing up from being able to see 2 different cities, St. Louis and Detroit, it definitely was like.
Oh, you said you like that.
Yeah.
So that's the 7 albums to know us. So if y'all didn't know anything like about me and Jesse, like, and where our like musical kind of fascination comes from,
I got some honorable mentions as well. I'll drop them on my Twitter.
You have 10, 11 honorable mentions though.
It
It
doesn't
defeats
matter.
the purpose.
It doesn't. They go into the category of what defined me as who I am today. There's some great honorable mentions. I'll love to share with you good listeners.
Anywho, so last segment of the episode. So, Complex recently released who they thought was the rapper of the year for 2019. And their selection was
Jonathan.
the baby. You disagree.
And it's not.
I agree.
And look, let me clear this up. My disagreement, like I said, is not like I'm saying because he's definitely in the conversation. But to this credit and discount everything the year that Megan Thee Stallion had would be like fucking mind blowing for rap. Like, not only did she pull in a wave, like you said, the baby had motherfuckers dancing in the whole, you know what I'm saying, line. But you had every girl. Every woman, literally last summer, Hot Girl Summer was the thing. Like, that was it. That was big. That was big. Was it not? You said that's a whole movement. Then her gimmick, Tina Snow, evolving her gimmick to a hot girl. Fever wasn't a bad album.
That was
the hottest rapper of the year. You say it's not a bad album.
So you saying Kirk was a great album?
I'm saying everything he did over the year.
You telling me Kirk from start to finish was a great album?
No.
No.
But the couple singles that he had, like Suge and
So-
Walker Texas Ranger and
Wait.
20
Wait. We'll just cut that. So let me get this straight. Cause the baby released more music.
that
You
all
can
sounded
argue-
the same. That literally it all sounded the same though.
Between Baby on Baby, his features that were definitely a variety, and then Kirk, everything was not the same.
Flows literally. The baby's flow is literally the fucking same.
Look at
Never changed.
a lot of people have the same flow.
I'm talking about from sonically the same sound.
But when he did features, it wasn't the same sound. So he showed his variety. More than Meg did. More than Meg did in 2019. How did she show variety, Jesse?
She had a movement.
What the fuck that gotta do?
She had a movement.
How does the movement signify variety? Explain that to me.
No, but lyrically, she definitely showed that she has she's very lyrical.
Okay. She's very lyrical, which we knew. Where's the variety? He said lyrical. I mean, she cool. She lyrical is strong. But I mean,
Discrediting her bars.
I'm not discrediting her bars. I'm not saying she can't rap. You just saying lyrical as if like she got like mad wordplay. Like she mad slices niggas with words. That's not what's happening.
Alright, who better lyrically? Her or the baby? You gonna say the baby?
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I don't know, man.
You say
It ain't clear cut Meg, I tell you that. I tell you that. It's not clear cut Meg, I tell you that. Can I make a final decision? No. But what I can say is that it's not a clear cut Meg. I can tell you that right now. You want to get up? You want to leave? You want to leave? You want to go? Like,
Shit, fucking.
what you mean? What?
I'm standing by my Meg Thee Stallion thing.
But yeah, so your only argument is that she had a movement. That is the only thing I've
That's
heard.
fucking huge.
So because she had Hot Girl Summer, she's the rapper of 2019. That is your sole. I just want to understand. That is your sole claim to her being the rapper of the year for 2019.
No.
So because she's a hot girl,
Oh my God! See how you? No.
no. So then what else is it?
Her bars. Don't say that. Don't forget that.
Her bars in what capacity?
In the what do you want me to break down as far as bars? Like,
So okay, I'll put it like this. Meg released Fever.
Tina Snow,
Tina Snow was 2019 or 2018?
2018.
Okay.
But it was the going into her.
I don't want to hear it. It wasn't released in 2019. Don't want to hear it.
Went into her hype.
Okay.
Megan.
Tina Snow went into her hype. All right, cool. Whatever. Coming into 2019, right? She drops Fever, which is cool. Like, it's Fever and
It's
It's wow. It's
But Kirk was
What was Baby on Baby though?
Ooh.
Stop lying, bro. What are you doing?
That's how it was.
Just take the L and say it was good, bro. Like, what's going on?
Nah, bro. It's like I said. The whole.
Like I said.
I just.
Okay, just for y'all, one last time, I'm gonna have Jesse say why he feel that, and then I'm gonna say why I feel it's the baby, and then we'll just end it there. Because other than that, I'm utterly confused. So you go ahead, just let the people know one last time why Meg is the rapper of the year for 2019.
Megan, I love you. Oh my God.
That's why.
Exactly.
It's the bias.
All right.
No, it's not even.
Are
it's
you
not.
G-Eazy? Then she doesn't care.
Oh wow. Let's just be clear. I didn't. I'm not commenting on nobody's personal relationships.
Oh my God.
Whatever the fuck.
You just
that
said I
is.
love you, Meg.
Do I have a relationship with her?
You
Want
wish
one.
you did. You want one.
We all want things in life. You gotta speak them into
Like you want her
existence.
to be the rapper of the year for 2019?
Well, that won't happen because Complex gave it to
I mean,
that
rightfully
person.
so.
All right, so let me ask you this. Ending off there, who do you have big hopes for, or by the end of this year, who do you want to be in the conversation for rapper of the year?
Who do I want to be in the conversation?
Mm-hmm. Do you see anybody that you currently know that you feel like is gonna hit a stride this year? I mean, you can never know because anybody can hit us with a surprise release and that bitch be hot. But any artist that you really anticipating to have a successful 2020?
Not sure. I could say a lot of these new artists have the potential simply because they're more likely to release a project. And it's kind of because of the way music is released now and the pace that music is released at. It's so many people that get thrown in the conversation simply because they just were active by releasing music, but it doesn't mean all of it was quality. So, I mean, off the top of my head, I would say it would be interesting to see if Roddy, if Roddy stays relevant and ends up being in that conversation. I believe if Drake drops an album, it depends on how active he is.
Are we anticipating a big release from Drake this year?
We definitely get an album from Drake this year. Definitely. We also are supposed to get an album from Cole. I would assume we're getting an album from Kendrick. So, I mean, a lot of big names are planning on it. But, again, I don't know. Like, it depends on how active they are. Because I guess the reason that it would seem clear-cut that it's the Baby for 2019 is because he was so active, like, literally the entire year, he was relevant. So the thing is, like, I don't know how many artists are going to stay relevant the entire year. Because I feel like if you drop a project but then, like, drop off, or you just not active, like you don't do no features or you don't got nothing else going on in music that's making you relevant, then I don't know. It's kind of hard to keep you in that conversation. So it's kind of hard to say right now. It'd be a better question I can maybe answer like halfway into the year, potentially. But I mean, I would just like to see like who all's really gonna drop projects. Like we done got a good amount of projects in February, and we still got something to go. But it'd be interesting to see like a couple months in who's dropped already, what projects seem to be coming, and then from there, probably like May, June, I could probably have a better idea just from who's all released and what's the years look like so far. But yeah, that's yeah. It's kind of hard to answer that. Try, but yeah. Do you have an idea? Like, is there somebody you want to like?
I want a Frank Ocean.
To be the rapper of the year?
No, for rapper of the year. I'm talking about anticipation of drop. I'm anticipating Frank. But rapper of the year, I personally I want to see if Roddy can keep the consistency. Definitely,
it would be nice to see.
But rapper of the year, I want to say Cole, man. I'm gonna have to go with the personal choice, just because of the anticipation from when we got KOD and how he'd been talking about the fall off and everything. Just what we heard from Revenge of the Dreamers, the space that we know that he's in right now. Like that, I'm anticipating a good project.
That's real. That's real.
And the fact that there's a possibility we get two, So
yeah, I think if Cole does anything remotely close to like what he did, kind of leading up to KOD and then through that year, like if he drops, whatever project, and that's fire, or that's good, and then he does a couple features here and there, or if Dreamville does something else, I don't know, and he happens to drop a second project, or just manages to, I don't know, like stay relevant throughout the year, you can make a very strong case for it. But I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to be dropping projects. It's really a conversation you kind of got to wait to see, because with music, like, you just never know. Like you said, somebody could drop out the blue and we wasn't expecting it type of deal. So, yeah. But yeah.
I think that wraps up today's episode.
Yeah, man. I think we touched on a few good things. The album thing was really dope. I think people definitely, I got a chance to kind of know where we come from, with music and everything.
A little bit,
you know what I'm saying? I think the combo about artists who had impact I think it makes for an extended conversation, because you can take it so many different directions, but I think it's just a good conversation about where music was, where music is, you know, etc. Who are we considering, you know, legends, all that type of deal. And then, I mean, I think the Baby and Meg were, I would say, as far as like relevancy, impact, so that's including your movements and whatnot, and just consistency throughout the year. I would say it's those two. I would say it's the Baby, then it's Meg, because I don't think you can knock the stamp that Meg left on the year. But that's like all things considered. Like that's including the fact that, you know, she had people, you know, she had girls talking about Hot Girl Summer. She had dudes saying it was Hot Boys. Like, you know, it's a, and for music, like that's where that stemmed from. So that's still like the impact from the culture. But yeah, so I don't know. That's a lot. We gave y'all a lot of good content. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should definitely tune in to that. You know what I'm saying?
Got any sleepers?
Shoot. Yes. So sleeper artist and album. If you're not hip, Jack Harlow.
Yes, sir. Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow. Yes, Jack Harlow. Out of Kentucky, you know what I'm saying? But the boy's nice. The tape is nice. I don't know why I can't think of the name of the tape right now. The recent one. Is it Ghost? No, it's not Ghost. I don't know. Anyway, look him up, Jack Harlow. We'll put his information in the description. But yeah, definitely check him out. Who's yours?
I'm going to have to go with Sorry the Kid. It was written. It's a great tape that he's released. So tap into him.
Did that release this year or last year?
It just released.
Just released? That's what, okay.
Well, I believe, yep, just released.
Bet. But yeah, nah, so definitely tap into the artists that we talking about, whether they local or whether, you know, they in the industry. It's just all good music. We want everybody to be tapped in with good music. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the segments from today. Definitely feel free to comment, like take y'all, you know, takes or y'all discussions to Twitter. Definitely interact with us. We always looking to argue with somebody about music. You know, you always catch us doing that. But man, until next time, until the next topic, we'll catch y'all. Peace.
I'll keep you safe in these arms tonight. Hold on to